Welcome to this week's edition of Mountain Outhouse News. I'm your host, Jam Jam. This is the craziest shit to happen in running this week. This week's stories include the end of LASCON, the Pima Pirates curse, and has the Barkley Fall Classic gone soft? He did it, folks. Infamous Barkley Marathons and Vol State RD Gary Cantrell has finished his cross-country journey dubbed LASCON. He went coast to coast from east to west, finishing in a total elapsed time of 126 days, 11 hours, 41 minutes, and 57 seconds. Whew. We here at Outhouse Nation want to congratulate Laz on completing this dream run, and just in the nick of time for him to fly back to Tennessee for the Barkley Fall Classic. Laz was on hand at the football game fundraiser and the race itself, as was three-time Barkley finisher Jared Campbell. Speaking of the BFC, or Barkley Fall Classic, it appears they had an over 50% finish rate this year, despite a heat index in the upper 90s. This compares to a reported 32% of finishers last year. Is the BFC becoming soft? I mean, this year's race did feature about 36 miles and close to 12,000 feet of climb, but I'd expect a lower finisher rate than that. Let's hope Laz has something good brewing for next year, as I can't imagine that kind of completion rate is going to go over well. It's reported that Benoit Laval, CEO of Raidlight, and multiple-time Barkley runner, was your winner, alongside Sarka Petrova for the ladies. They will both be offered a spot in the Big Barkley next year. The second annual Skyway 10K, which opened for registration this past week, was hit hard by thousands of people trying to sign up for the race upon opening. The registration software, event.com, could not handle the volume, and ended up even charging some participants 2 or 3 times for a single registration, taking up valuable spots. This event raises money for the Armed Forces Family Foundation. Next up, we head to the final stop on the Golden Trail Series, presented by Solomon, before the series finale in South Africa. Here's results from the Ring of Steall in Scotland. Once again, it was all Killian. Turning things around after his UTMB defeat in DNF, he once again showed how dominant of a mountain runner he is. He not only won this race, but also shattered the old course record by 20 minutes, running a 3:04:34. He was chased by Nadir Magoat, who was on his tail most of the day, and former record holder Stian Angerman-Vick placed third. On the women's side, we also saw an almost 20-minute course record from Tove Alexanderson, who finished in 3:46, quite a bit ahead of second place Victoria Wilkinson, and third place Holly Page. That brings us to the end of the main Golden Trail Series races, and we now will see the top 10 points earners across the series compete at the October 20th Otter Trail Africa Run in South Africa. We'll see on the women's side, Ruth Croft, Ida Nilsson, Laura Orgay, Megan Kimmel, Eli Gordon, Holly Page, Sheila Avelas, Sylvia Rampazzo, Fanny Borgstrom, and Megan McKenzie. For the men, it'll be Kilian Jornet, Stian Angerman-Vick, Mark Lavinson, Artiz Ig, Oriel Cardona, Stephen Week, Alexis Sevenek, Sage Candidate, Thibault Baronia, and Bartolomew Przwanowski. Lots of names there. It was a purely magical day at the Berlin Marathon for Eliud Kipchoge, who finally got his world record run at the marathon distance. He ran a perfect negative split effort to run a 2-hour, 1 minute, 39-second time. Wow. I think I could keep up with him for about 800 meters at that pace. No joke. Also coming out of Berlin, we have a story about a big city marathon stepping into the Reusable Cup game. We've seen this trend accelerating in the trail world, but not sure if we've seen it at marathon this large. They supposedly had fill stations, fountains, and even runners with water tanks on their backs running alongside you to fill up. While that would be a sight to be seen. Does anybody know if it actually worked out on course? According to one participant on Facebook, it appears there were still quite a bit of disposable cups out there, and also blue ponchos discarded all over the course. We saw a new unsupported FKT on the John Muir Trail. Aurelien Sanchez, on his third attempt at the 223-mile rugged trail, was finally successful. His time of 3 days, 3 hours, 55 minutes puts him second all-time, even amongst supported athletes. His time bettered the previous unsupported record by over 7 hours, and even Lior Pontelat's supported time by almost 4. Only Francois Den is faster, having completed the run in 2 days, 19 hours, and 26 minutes. The annual World Mountain Running Championships took place this weekend in one of my favorite places, Andorra. The event featured an uphill 12-kilometer course that climbed over 1,000 meters or 3,000 feet. Lucy Wambui Murigi of Kenya took top honors in 64 minutes, 55 seconds. If that name sounds familiar, you've seen her win the past 2 editions of Sierres en All. She was about a minute ahead of second place Maud Mathis of Switzerland. Kenya did take the team win thanks to third place finisher Viola Jalagat, also of Kenya. On the men's side, Uganda dominated the day, taking all 3 podium spots, with their top 3 men finishing in 55:37, 38, and 54. Robert Chimonges was first, Joel Aiko second, and Victor Kiplagat third. Just an absolute clean sweep. Wonder what these guys could do in a 50K. For the Americans, Joe Gray was 4th, about a minute back of 3rd place, and Andy Wacker was 26th. On the ladies' side, American Annie Bergsala was 17th, and Addie Bracey 20th. Several members of the aptly named Pima Pirate trail running crew set out to tackle some big 100-mile races this weekend. Sion Lupowitz went after the Mogollon Monster 100 in Arizona, while Charlie Ware and Katlo Shipik took on the Run Rabbit Run 100 in Colorado. These hardy runners, hailing from the greater Tucson, Arizona area, hosted summer pirate camps high up in the Santa Catalina Mountains, but seem to have been visited by a pirate's curse. All of these gents ran strong early, but eventually all dropped from their respective races. What exactly was the cause of the curse? Well, we aren't sure. So, how did Run Rabbit Run turn out? Well, it was a dominating day for ultra athletes at this ultra-sponsored event. Conspiracy? We saw Jason Schlarb take his 3rd win at the 100-mile distance here in 18 hours, 48 minutes, with Mark Hammond 2nd and the ever-consistent Jeff Browning in 3rd. On the ladies' side, Michelle Yates was back with a strong showing, winning in 22 hours, 33 minutes, with Emma Roca 2nd and Carrie Brugsvort 3rd. It's a big prize money for those folks. Finally, we have the 7th annual Mogollon Monster 100, which was run under above-average temperatures. We saw Angela Chartel take the women's win in the 2nd fastest all-time, 26 hours, 11 minutes, just off the course record. For the men, it was Joe Lau with the win in 22:49, taking the lead in the final stretch of the race. And with that, thanks for tuning in to episode 111 of Outhouse News. Thanks for checking out the show, and we'll see you next time. If you have crazy stories to share, or a question or feedback for the show, please leave a comment below. If you'd like to directly support the show financially, consider becoming a Patreon supporter of this channel, or pick up this custom pair of JamJam's shark sunglasses. Links below. Have a shitty week.